former athlete. I competed in high school, pretty good athlete, state champion, did my thing. I also competed in college, went to college on a full ride track and field scholarship to the University of Mississippi. Ole Miss in the house, hotty toddy, all my people. Um, but back in that day, things were different. The recruiting game was a little different. They actually talked to us and our parents. They actually came to your house for visits. Like, it was a whole different story. And when I went to school, since I was on a full ride scholarship, everything was paid for. Like, everything was paid for. I remember being in college and we thought that we didn't have things. Like, we didn't know how blessed we were until now we look back and we're like, wow, we had it going on. Like, but it was an amazing experience to be able to go, leave home, go and have a full ride scholarship, compete in the SEC, travel the world, meet new people. It was an amazing opportunity. But boy, have times changed. Okay, I have a college student athlete now, but I remember going through his recruiting, and it was totally different than it was when I was going through my recruiting. Nobody contacted us as parents. Like, they are inboxing your child, they're texting your child, they're leaving you out of the loop. Like, most parents don't know what's going on when it comes to that recruiting game because it looks so different, especially if they were athletes. And the ones who were never athletes, oh, they're really lost. But this recruiting game has totally changed. As a parent, you can definitely be left out of the loop if your child is not a kid who's open to you. You can miss a lot of deadlines because it's not set up how it used to be set up. And so what I want to do is just talk to some of you parents who are actually going through the recruiting process with your child, or you have an athlete and your athlete is pretty good and you will be going through the recruiting. One thing for sure that a lot of parents miss out on is when your child turns 18, you don't have the legal authority for much of anything, especially like when it comes to if they go to the hospital, if looking at their grades or anything like that. And something that's so small that a lot of parents are missing out on is they didn't put in the paperwork needed to be able to have access to this information. And so what I want to introduce you to is it's called Future Scholar Athletes. Okay, Future Scholar Athletes. And what that is actually a program that ensures that scholar athletes, we plan for our children to be scholar. That means they're excelling in their academics, and then they're athletes. But what this program is, it's a toolkit, a DIY toolkit for parents and their athletes, where you have everything that you need to make sure that the recruiting game, the recruiting process is on point. Now, should you wait till your child is a junior or senior in high school to start this? Absolutely not. That's where we're missing the ball. Parents, we're dropping the ball because we're waiting too late to get on top of things. If you have an 8th grader and you know your child is a pretty decent athlete and you're planning for them to go to school on a scholarship or at least be looked at for a scholarship, you need to start this process right now. Don't wait. I have come across so many athletes who have missed the opportunity because they didn't have anybody in their corner stand on top of them when it comes to their academics. I mean, we got some scholar athletes who got a 1.9 GPA. Where you going? You're not going anywhere, baby. You're not going nowhere. So I can't fully blame the athletes because where were the adults? Where were the parents? Where were the counselors? Where were the coaches? If you are a parent, you know a lot of these coaches, they not out here for our children. They're not looking for their best interest. They want them to perform while they're in high school to make them look good. But after high school, they're not helping them get into colleges, most of them. They're not speaking up on their behalf. They're not staying on top of them when it comes to their grades. They're not ensuring that they're doing their ACT and SAT scores. And so this is where this toolkit comes in. It gives parents the authority and the ability to stay on top of everything by telling you the process, showing you and walking you step by step through everything that is required for your child, also helping them track the schools they're interested in, giving them templates of emails that they can send out to coaches, personally branding them. How many of you parents have realized like your child is your child is their brand? Their name is a brand right now. That is what the NIL is all about. Making sure that your child's name, image, and likeness is making them money. And a lot of people don't understand that. You don't realize your child is a brand. You're not branding your child. What are you doing? You're missing out on opportunities. My baby is 9 years old, okay? She's in 5th grade. We have already started creating her brand. She has a website up where coaches can go and they can look at her highlights. Other people can go. But how are you branding your child? And so what I've created, me and my team, we've created a toolkit. It's called Future Scholar Athletes DIY Toolkit for Parents and Athletes. Everything that you need for this recruiting game is set up in there. We create personalized website brands. It comes with the toolkit. So what we do for your child, we create a whole website for them that when they email these coaches with the templates that we have provided for them with different emails, one is an introduction, one is a follow-up, one is once they get recruited. Like we have emails in there. They actually just put their customized website domain in the email. So when the coach goes on there, they can learn, they can see their highlight videos, they can see what records they have, they can see their transcripts, their ACT and SAT scores. Like everything is set up for your child, because if you don't do something now, you're going to be left out of the loop, and your child's going to miss the boat. Okay, in there we have timelines of when you should be doing what, how you should be putting your child's name out there, how you should be ensuring that their social media presence is actually set up correctly. A lot of our kids, they're on social media, but they're not leveraging their social media to help them get to the next level. Okay, I know when I ran, we didn't have all that social media. I was in the SEC. We didn't have all of this stuff that they had. We didn't have to go and pre-brand ourselves before we got to get talked to by a coach. But your children need to. They have to. And so that's why we have put everything together for you. We have even put the paperwork together to ensure that you can speak on behalf of your child. When it comes to, if your child was to get sick, you have a 19-year-old, 18-year-old, they're away at college, they get sick, you can't call the hospital and say, hey, can you tell me what's going on with my child? They're not going to talk to you. You can't even call their school and say, I want to talk to somebody regarding my child's financial aid or their grades. And the reason is because you haven't put in the proper paperwork to ensure that you have authority to do that. And so in there, we put all of that for you as well. And so if you are a parent and you have a student athlete between the grades of 8th grade and beyond, I need you to take a look at this toolkit. Right now, I have priced it so low that anybody can get it, but that's only introductory. I'm letting people get their hands on it because everything, when I say everything you need for this process, it's laid out for you. You don't have to go find it. You can keep track of your child's colleges they're interested in, the coaching information, like everything that you're going to need. It's right there. And so I'm going to drop in the comments the link. Go take a look. Tag some student athletes. Tag their parents. Make sure that you take a look at this. Don't be left behind, y'all. Don't be left behind. If you haven't started branding your child, you're dropping the ball, y'all. You're dropping the ball. But I'm about to go. Remember, it's Winning Wednesday. Click the link in the comments that I'm about to drop. Tag a family. Tag a friend. We know thousands of people who have student athletes. And I can tell you this, most of them won't be going to college on a scholarship because the parents don't know. And if you don't know what to do, you end up doing nothing. And so most of these kids are missing it. I just reached out to a school district because a lot of our African American children who are great athletes, they're not getting scholarships because the coaches are dropping the ball. And when they drop the ball, what happens is the kids who need the money to go to school, they end up not getting it. And so they can't go to school because they need those scholarships. Like most families, a lot of families don't have the financial backing to actually pay for their child to